lost a little bit of faith in humanity. I always do. I have my moments. So let's take you through a bit of military jargon and tactics, intelligence. I'd rather call it int. I've always found it funny calling it intelligence. I'll call it int. Right, our first tactic, right, our very first one is to place sanctions. Block the borders off. No one's allowed to enter, no one's allowed to exit. All right, sanctions is the first. Then straight after sanctions, we follow with propaganda into the sanctioned state. All right, why aren't your hospitals working properly? Why is there no food on your table? It's because your government is incapable, it's not good, and it's just shit to live under them. We need to rescue you, right? Okay. Now, if that doesn't work, the next thing we do is form a coalition. So we'll petition NATO, and we'll go, right, we're going to attack this country. We want as many countries as possible in. Now, people go, oh, that's being cowards, you're scared. No. That's, tactically, it's smart. Why? Because you're putting yourself in a position where you won't lose. All right? And you're also putting yourself in a position of minimum casualties. It's not just your army that's dying, it's other armies. All right? So you've put yourself in a position where you don't lose, and that place will collapse. That's it. Now, we see examples of this, and the propaganda, right? Vietnam started at the Bay of Tonkin incident. It was a lie. The Lusitania in World War I, made by the English, right? Killed innocent American civilians by the Germans after the fake information was given to the Germans by the English. America enters the war. Propaganda. It was a lie. These are the ones that are coming off the top of my head, all right? Libya. What was Libya? Oh, the Libyan army was going to massacre civilians. No. The Libyan army was going after guerrilla forces placed in there by United States. All right? Then the next one was the weapons of mass destruction. Colonel Scott Ritter was screaming there were no weapons of mass destruction. He was silenced. We attacked. We murdered the leader. And today, Iraq is an absolute shithole. So is Libya, an absolute shithole. And Libya had a higher living standard. Yeah, had a higher living standard than most Western nations. Oops, they forgot to mention that. Now, let's go to the Maidan Square in Kiev in Ukraine. This is what pisses me off, because people are going murdering Russians. We've seen 2014, when the war started, when the coup hit off. Guess who was in the middle? They didn't even hide it from you. Victoria Nuland, handing out sandwiches, pumping people up. They didn't even hide it, and people are that naive that they didn't even look at that. I watched that, and I knew the CIA was behind that shit, not the Russians. All right? They overthrew a elected leader and placed American puppets in there. And people to this day believe the Russians started it, and a large majority. Now, we're seeing the same shit happen in Iran. What do the Americans do? They also grab dissidents, right? People who that system doesn't help. People who lived very well probably under that system, under the old system, the Shah, and lost it all. Because the Shah had a pretty bad reputation, guys. Don't let me take you back to Chile, who the Americans put Pinochet into Chile. Do your research on that. Actually don't try and type in the spelling of the name Pinochet. Because like me, I don't spell the best when it comes to some of the names other than Smith and Jones. Sorry. But put in worst dictator Chile ever had. All right? Research him. That's who the CIA put in. So don't spin me this shit, we're going anywhere to rescue people, because I know by fact that's not what we do. We go in for our benefit. For the oil, for whatever we can steal. We did it to that little island above us. I bloody forget its name all the time. We stole their gas fields, guys. We stole their gas field. But people will still try and preach shit to me. Especially some little office clerk. He's going to start telling me how things are done in there. Alright? A system I grew up in. Alright, my first job. And they're going to tell me how things are done in there. And why we're going places. And what happens when you go places. They're going to tell me that I'm full of shit. Oh, fuck. Alright, guys. Take it easy. Start thinking a bit more. Or start listening to people. Don't listen to the propaganda arseholes. Alright? You want to get ranking in the military? You do exactly what the bosses tell you. Alright? That's how you get further up the thing. Because they want you under control. They don't want you to think for yourself. Someone actually said to me once, they didn't want their daughter to join the military. And they said, can you, look, my daughter wants to go to Duntroon. Can you have a chat to us? Oh, yeah, I had a chat to her and she never joined. And I didn't lie to her. She's a very moralistic girl, see? And I said to her, all right, sweetheart, so what do you think about this situation? She goes, that's not good, that's not good. I said, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm going to give you orders and you're going to obey the orders. End of story. And I swore with her and everything. I go, well, this is what you want. You want to join the military? This is the sort of life you're going to live. All right? And you're going to come into my office and I am going to tear you to shreds if you didn't obey my orders. I don't give a fuck what you think. You won't even be allowed to talk back to me. All right? You're going to try to, but I'm not going to give you the chance. Because you're not there to fucking talk. You're there to get your ass kicked for a job I gave you and you didn't do. Yeah, she never joined. But anyway, yeah, that's it. So you're basically looking at the very beginning tactics to the very end. Now, the West has tried those tactics on the East. See, they used to do frontal assaults on the East. Fair few times. You're talking Napoleon, you're talking the Teutonic Knights and the Templars. They did an attack. They never even got past bloody Poland. They charged in, battle axes singing, all armour clanking. The Poles led them straight into a trap. They call it the Battle of the Ice River. Type in the Templars and the Battle of the Ice River in Poland. They got massacred because the Ice River was iced. So the Poles, the Polish military, the army, the knights of that time, led them straight over the river. Then broke the river. They broke the ice on the river. Then they hunted them all the way back to the west. Killed any of them they found. There was no prisoners taken. Yeah. And there's people, instead of researching what I just said, they're just going to go, you're just talking shit, you're just making shit up. They don't even research. They instantly jump on you because it's not the narrative they want to hear. Napoleon, I don't have to speak of that. They say the English that Lord Wellington, was it Lord Wellington? I think it was Wellington that beat Napoleon in that battle. And they said, he destroyed Napoleon. No! Napoleon lost nearly his whole army in the East. Again, research it. Don't listen to me and criticise me. Research that point. Research how many of Napoleon's army died in Moscow. All right? Then you had, who else did you have? The famous one, the Mustache Man. The Mustache Man entered the East. Now, a lot of, especially Americans, will start talking the shit. How if it wasn't for us giving arms to the Russians would have never have beaten the Mustache Man. The problem with that comment is, it probably would have been more casualties on the Russians, but the Russians had so many numbers, and you might have killed 5 of them, but another 10 would have taken their place. And they have got a shocking reputation for holding on their land. By shocking, I mean, I think the only mob that have actually come close to conquering them is the Mongols. And the American military is nowhere near that standard. Alright. Alright, guys. That's all I got to say today. Everyone take it easy. Chat soon.